No. Let's go.
What up, y'all? You know who it is.
Jersey,
Your boy Jay and Kish, you know what I mean? Right now with Chris John. Shout out to Camden, New Jersey, all my niggas out there. Let's get right into it. Yeah.
BTBTV. Chris John, man. Yo, born, let's get him, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, off plan. Used to get busy with them guns in my hand. 4 or 5 or a black 9 with a grand in my pocket and beef cool as a fan. BTBTV, we're not playing. Y'all just talk, we back it up and down. Sideways, F what y'all say. We Kyrie and Kanye. This a boss talk, so you clowns just fly away. Hop on the bridge, throw your frame off the highway. This not a game, this is business, this my way. Real talk, your opinion is nothing to us. We gon' stay on chill, long as you don't violate, but it's not fair. We could be cool or your worst nightmare. We the best, I swear. And you could be my friend or enemy, I don't care. And you better be aware. Cause we coming for the whole pie and we don't share. No, it just ain't fair. But we the best, I swear. We the best, I stay up in the mix. A project politics, my mood kinda sick. Name well known from the hood to the sticks. 100 on the highway, flying so fast, burn the gears when I shift. Some people kick dirt on your name, what shoot you gave them. Broke your back for them and they got the nerve to play you. Kick rap's door off, pushed and shoved my way through. Bum rush the kitchen, put my floor up on the menu. The jealousy be hidden up in jokes. That's why I stay serious like David Banner turned in the Hulk in pure form like the Pope. Haters get infrared beams with the scope, so run and get ghost. We fight good, boxed in like Floyd on the ropes. I'm the great black hope. Man, we the team and they know it coast to coast and it just ain't fair. We could be cool or your worst nightmare. We the best, I swear. And you can be my friend or enemy, I don't care.
And you better be aware.
Cause we coming for the whole pie and we don't share. No, it just ain't fair. We the best and you with us, put your lighters in the air. No,
them lighters in the air, nigga. Them lighters in the air.
BTBTV. Just ain't fair, man.
They gon' say the money changed me, but I'ma say the haters did it. I watched them suckers bend the rules, but what I do? Forgave them niggas. Making movies, I play the villain. Shaking, moving, making millions. Money calling, my line beeping. I had to tell them to wait a minute. Philippe steak from table scraps. I don't lie with making raps. Enough dough saved up that I can pay the label back. Overseas tour and I'm staying at a Paris Hilton. Then a few weeks later, a nigga ran in the Paris Hilton.
Yo! Peace to my little bro, Chris John, BTBTV, the Prince of New Jersey. Yo, I'm talking to my nigga Pal Car One in the building. Salute. This is the King of New Jersey. This is BTBTV. We bully the bullies. I'm the honorable horse. I'm your honorable host. I'm your honorable host. Born divine almighty Allah. Yo, check this out. Peace to the 5% nation, the guys and nerfs. Salam alaikum, alhamdulillah, rahmatullahi, to all the true Muslim brothers and sisters that's there. Yo. Hey, yo, check this out. We ain't no Bloods or no Crips. We doing our own thing. BTBTV has started its own game. Nigga, what? Checking in where, nigga? Well, I'm checking in at. Let's go. Yo, man, I had to do this show today, man, because I've been watching all these so-called rap icons. They're FDA, fundamental black, man. When the hip-hop is banging and banging out the system, as soon as they get hot, oh, yeah, well, my parents from Jamaica, nigga, you was born in America. My parents Puerto Rican, nigga, you was born in America. Oh, my parents this, nigga, you was born in America. So I want to hear that fundamental black, I'm fundamentally black when it comes to eating off our culture. But then when it's time to stand up for our culture, you tuck your fucking tail. You tuck your tail like the coward you are. You tuck your tails like the cowards you are. Busta Rhymes, 5% Nation, the guys and nurse. Jamaica. Hip-hop started in Jamaica? Nigga. Jamaican reggae was singing back then. There wasn't no rapping reggae back then until after hip-hop was blasted through the universe on the East Coast. It was not no reggae, no reggaeton, none of that shit until after hip-hop blew the fuck up in America, bruh. North America, New York, New Jersey, Philly. Let's get it. Let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about this shit. Yeah, boy. Don't play with me, son. I know this up all my life, bro. I know what it is. I know you niggas really don't like us. That swagger, what the young boys call it? Swagger jacket? The young boys call it swagger Jackson? Swagger jacket? That's what y'all niggas do. Y'all swagger jacket. Y'all eat off our whole style, but don't really respect us. Don't really respect what we build, the foundation we build as foundational Black Americans. But yo, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I always said I was original. I never really called myself Black. I call myself original because I come from the root, nigga. We original men of the planet Earth. Black is to put a label on us. As in black cats being bad luck. A black man is a criminal. He's a drug dealer. He's a pedophile. He's a rapist. Everything that's thought about bad, black magic, all that shit is built to down our culture, down our race, down who we are. But you know, these rappers like Busta Rhymes, like Fat Joe, like Tony Yayo, like all these niggas, I rock with Tony Yayo. I rock with Busta at 9 himself. But Busta, this is what Busta had to say. I want y'all to hear this shit. I want y'all to hear this shit. Brick City Tunnel to build a slew piece of God.
That we displayed, a lot of that shit come from dancehall culture. And I don't think people really understand this whole hip hop shit was birthed from Jamaica.
It's crazy that he said that, yo, because you know what? I've been in the South since 2006. And I swear I've been trying to get the dancehall music down here to all the DJs I've met. And you know, there's only one DJ that really like pulled towards that, and it's DJ Blaze. And the rest in peace, DJ Blaze. But it's crazy, yo. Busta speaking some facts.
Jamaica. Like Kool Herc is a Jamaican nigga. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The whole concept of having big ass speakers stockpiled on top of each other and playing loud ass music outside, that come from Jamaica. That's dancehall culture. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So Kool Herc brought dancehall culture to the US and gave birth to hip hop culture. The only thing that changed was the type of music that.
All right, check this shit out. First of all, Kool Herc was born in America. He wasn't born in Jamaica. Busta Rhymes, you so intelligent, know your facts, son. Kool Herc was born in Bronx. He was not born in Jamaica. He probably never even been in Jamaica, my nigga. Let's give it a buck. But go ahead with your flammery. Here we go, y'all.
I think that was played and how it was played.
But I'm glad Busta Rhymes said that, because if I said it, then I would know what I was talking about. People would be like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Dancehall ain't big. Anybody listen to dancehall? But this is Busta, one of our biggest icons in America. Come on now, give that credit where that credit is due, bro. Come on now. Dancehall is big in the world, not just in Jamaica or in America, but I think it's in Germany, Spain.
Brick City Tunnel, hit that link, bro. Let's get to business.
Come on now. These them China girls in Jamaica dancing too, getting wild. Check it out.
But the concept is the same. Right. So the thing about dancehall culture is the critics, the audience, the way they was raised it was in a way where, and in particularly, Jamaican people is just a proud people. Like, them niggas is outspoken like a motherfucker.
In the midst of my video, Cash pull up on me. I'm glad he's here. You see what I'm saying? I'm glad he's here because he needs to hear this as well. I've been telling people about my Jamaican music for the longest. No one is listening to me. We are outspoken. People take us as very angry people, but we're just very emotional and passionate in what we do. Everything we do.
You're very homosexual, bro. That's what y'all are.
This about Jamaica is that he have
let's get it. Let's get there. Let's get to that.
He is Jamaican himself to an extent. So with that being said, what he's speaking here about Jamaican music is the truth. I mean, they're very outspoken, they're very, loud and vulgar people, but it is all about good time and it's all about enjoying life. There's no hard feelings.
Don't forget y'all very zesty too, nigga. One thing. Don't forget y'all very zesty. Y'all some zesty ass motherfuckers too. Let's keep it real.
What he's saying. If you don't want to
very zesty Jamaican ass niggas.
And
my favorite.
If you make people from Jamaica spend their money and come to a concert,
they fuck with you.
If they fuck with you, they gonna let you know. If they don't fuck with you, they gonna let you know in a way that you ain't gonna be able to understand, like appreciate, digest, or accept.
But you hear what he said though. He said that they're going to let you know in a way you.
All right. Now, that's one of them. Here we go again, y'all. Here go another one. Busta Rhymes.
How do you think your music has influenced the Latin music and its culture?
I think that, my family is Jamaican and Latino, Jamaican, Caribbean people, with tropical people, with people that understand what that timing and that rhythm and that pocket feels like in a way unlike any other culture of people, from the bass lines to the way we choose to place our words as people of the Caribbean and of the tropics. I think that it's just it's something you can't really define in words. It's a feeling thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you watch Latinos do the salsa or merengue.
All right. Now check this out. Busta. I ain't call you Busta Rhymes because your name is, I'm calling you Busta because you're a fucking Busta. Check this out, bro. Where you think all y'all got your dance moves from? The Africans. They was doing praise dances in Africa a long, long time ago. Well, before Jamaica even existed, son. Do your research, do your knowledge. Oh, where you think Jamaicans come from, nigga? They come from Africans. They come from Africans, just like Puerto Ricans, just like Dominicans. It's like Haitians. They come from Africans, my nigga. You supposed to have knowledge of self, bro. Busta Rhymes, you supposed to have knowledge of self. But whoever taught you didn't teach you properly. As soon as you got big, now you Jamaican. We always knew you was Jamaican. You never spit that Jamaican shit like that until you already made it. Once you made it, then you came out the closet being Jamaican. Then you came out the closet, I'm Jamaican. Nigga, you know better than us. Dance hall did not start hip hop. Hip hop was here when dance hall started, nigga. Kool Herc said it already. He said hip hop was here in the 70s. Bruh, the only reggae artist I know from the 70s is Bob Marley. And he wasn't rapping, he was harmonizing, he was singing. Come on, man. Let y'all finish what this clown gotta say. What this Buster gotta say.
reggae, and you see Jamaican people, you know, do they shit. It's kind of like something that goes hand in hand, and you know, it ain't a coincidence that in every urban community, Latino and blacks is there together. That ain't no accident. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not like you find in every urban community, you know, Middle Eastern and black or Asian and black. You know, you always see Latino and black. And I think we just so a part of each other's cultural significance, not only as tropical people, but even here in the United States, where the multicultural, because the U.S. ain't got no culture. They shit is all our shit. A bunch of our shit is what makes the U.S. whatever you want to call it. We still don't know what that culture is for the U.S., but it's a mix-up of all of our cultures. And in the urban community, you know, the Latino and the West Indian has the greatest influence, and we've always had, and we'll always will, and it's just been that way. So I've actually been influenced by the Latino community, which allows me to feel that much more comfortable putting my West Indian influence in my music, because they made me feel that much more proud to be like, yeah, man, Lisa Jamaican, and I say it. But I'm just saying, a lot of the times, it ain't until you're made to feel comfortable giving it to the people who and what you really are, what your influences are, your upbringing in the house, that you do it. So, you know, being that I've been made to feel comfortable doing it, I think I also got to acknowledge and credit the Latinos for their influence on me, just the same way that I've been able to take that influence and give it back to the music. But a lot of that just has to do with just being around it, growing up a part of it, and, you know, just seeing that it worked. When I was able to do the shit and incorporated it little by little and seeing the shit work, I was like, man, this shit is not gonna ever stop happening with me, because it's an advantage that I have being of the Caribbean descent, being of the tropical upbringing, being from that environment. I can use that to my advantage. A lot of rap motherfuckers and American artists, they can't use that, and I can do what they doing as an American, but also got this little secret weapon that I'm gonna pull out the stash every now and then, and I'm gonna use it to my advantage. So, you know, I think that's really what it is, and so far, it's been magical results for me.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all. Now, y'all heard Busta Bust, right? He's a buster because he's a buster, not because he rhymes. Check this out, man. Everything he said is total bullshit. It's BS. It's caca. It's doodle. It stinks. Check this out, man. I will admit, growing up, when I grew up in Elizabeth, New Jersey, it was blacks and Puerto Ricans. Then the Haitian migration came. The Jamaicans didn't come to years later. Let's get that right. The West Indians didn't pop up to years later. The Africans from Africa didn't pop up to years later. So how the hell did y'all make our culture where hip-hop was there already? When hip-hop was there already. I need somebody to answer that question for me, because I'm hearing a lot of bullshit right now. Bruh, the reggae that was there was Bob Marley singing, bruh. Scat and all that shit came from Alabama somewhere, nigga. It came from the South. You want to be honest, Scat, it came from the South. Dizzy Gillespie plays the sax. That's South, nigga. At 99, that's South. That shit didn't come from no Jamaican boy. Ray, better peace to the God. That shit didn't come from Jamaica, boy. Come on, man. Well, keep it real. Let's keep it real, man. We know where hip hop derived from. Hip hop derives from blues. Hip hop derived from jazz. Them old men scatting back in the day. Come on, man. The drums come from Africa. Pig Meek Markham made a hip hop song in 1968. He's from North Carolina, relocated to New York. They go, what? Perk said he was born in the Bronx. He never said he was born in Jamaica. I never heard. Matter of fact. What was Cool born? Let's see. Here we go. We're about to go here. We're about to go there. We're about to see what Cool Herc had to say. Louis V, salute. See you, bruh. Yo, check this out, man. Let's listen to what Cool Herc had to say. Because Cool Herc, he was one of the founder fathers, but he didn't start hip hop. He came in after it started.
It's one of the founding fathers of hip hop. Cool Herc, y'all.
No, not one of the founding fathers.
Why should
the founding father. I don't want no room for claim jumpers and lion kings.
So what's good, my brother?
Good, man. I'm good. I'm good. I to be on the face of the earth another year is a blessing.
Now, how's your health?
It's good. Everything right now is moderation. You know what I'm saying? You know, more six packs. You know, more going in is halfway now, or no way. You know what I'm saying?
You look good, brother.
I'm not trying to beat the clock. I'm slowing the clock down.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I really enjoyed having you here. First time I ever met you.
Fair use, fair use.
Hard right now, you know what I mean? It's the man.
It happened to each one of us, you know, right. when it come out, Pat, and I give it to him, man. Thank you, my brother.
No.
I feel so when Pam Gray was out here, I was like, people ground me. You know, you got it. When you get up there, you need people to keep you grounded. Some people won't call you Herc. They're gonna say. Some people say, "Yeah, I remember I beat him up in high school." Some guys ain't gonna let it go. I could say just like this. You could pass by the guy who you know from high school. Yo, man, man, that's Ricky. You better have room for that guy. Everybody ain't gonna like you.
Right.
When your dreams come into reality, everybody not gonna accept it. So there's always that guy say, "Yeah, I beat him up in junior high school." You can't take the title away from him. Hold on to it, Johnny. That's all right. Yeah, but I'll let him get it off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
Right. If you can't laugh at yourself, accept that, get out of the business. You know, I know every day the on switch is not on, Sometimes it's off, and that's life too. But you gotta handle it the best way you can. You know what I'm saying?
Eric, what's one of your favorite break beats?
I'm still looking for it. Right now, I'm with Too Short and Breezy, Chris Brown. Too Short, you know. That's one my Too Short.
Is any artist? Well, you said those two. What about female artists?
They're there. I'm looking for the next sensation myself. My ears is my business. You know, I always find me looking out for the underdog. What was they never embraced hip hop. And born in New York City, like jazz in New Orleans and anything else, country music, the Grand Ole Opry, they never embraced hip hop coming in from New York City. And all that shifting up, we still ain't getting what we need on the radio because they're still playing with the other guys around them playing. There's no individuality there.
So you think that we can still use another urban station?
Definitely. I'm still hearing there's some good stuff that need to be played, but not all the time. There's other stuff too. What about new people? Give the new people that half of that 6 hour playing time you got for old stuff. They had their shot already. It's good to reminisce. And New York hold back a lot of young people, all the artists getting heard of. So that's why they go down south to re-enter New York.
That's true. That is true. New York is a tough market to break.
Well, because people shut them out. They play old stuff, play new stuff. If you give me 5 old stuff, give me 5 more new stuff supposed to be coming with your ears.
So you don't.
So check this out. I'm gonna say this, right? Like my boy John the Kid said, if hip hop wasn't making money, these guys will want to claim it. These guys want to claim it. Kool Herc is one of the founding fathers. He's not the original. Yo, y'all want to talk about the original? I don't even like Africa Bambaataa because I think he's a body boy. I know he's a body boy. You know what I'm saying? But Africa Bambaataa, he was one of the first hip hop artists before Kool Herc. But y'all ain't hear me though. He was one of the first hip hop artists before Kool Herc. Busy B and Kool Herc around the same time. Rest in peace, God, peace. Busy B and Kool Herc around the same time. But like I said, black is black. But don't try to separate yourself from the black Americans when y'all took our swag. Let's be honest. Jamaicans, they dress it weird. But where they get that rhythm, when they get that jewelry from, they was too poor to wear jewelry like that in Jamaica unless they was drug dealers. Yo, we've been building with TV. Kool Herc was not rapping, he was a DJ. He was a DJ Kool Herc. So how he invent something that he didn't do? Yeah, man, come on, man. There we go. Let's go King Mario, FBA, that gave Bambaataa his start. I'm just saying, bruh. I'm saying this because I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Hold up, I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey. We have one of the best DJs of all time. DJ Kool V. Brick City AZ. Speak facts. It's Charleston White and Brett. No. He DJ'd. He played records. He spun records at parties in the park, man. Yo, Brick City AZ, man. Hit that link, bruh. You asked for it, I'm giving it to you, bruh. Hit that link. You want it, I'm giving it to you, bruh. Hit that link. Now, let me send you the link right now. This what you wanted, this what I'm giving you, bruh. Yes, Biz Markie DJ, Elizabeth, New Jersey. I remember Biz Markie moved to live where he's a kid, when he's a teenager. He moved right around the corner from me with Cool V. I remember the block parties we had with Big Daddy Kane, Cool Biz Markie, fucking, what's the nigga name? Craig G. Fucking, all them niggas, Cool G Rap. All of this become our block parties. We had the most bangingest block parties in Elizabeth, New Jersey because of Cool V. Come on, man. Let's keep it real, man. Let's keep it real. We ain't gonna forget where we came from. We ain't forget what we know, man. We can't forget what we sing. He said the two turntables and microphones came from Jamaican Studio One. Do your research. We talking about two turntables. We ain't talking about rapping, man. We talking about rapping right now. We're talking about hip hop. You're talking about hip hop. We building We TV. Uh-huh. The two turntables came from where? Where did the two turntables hip hop come from? Let's go put that out there too. Don't let that nigga do your research. Just because you see shit don't mean it's right. Oh, yeah. Hold on. And I believe the two turntables came from Run DMC, Jam Master Jay. Before that, it was only one turntable. Niggas was using one turntable back then. That two turntables came from Jam Master Jay. Who else you know that was hitting them turntables like that when it first started? Jam Master Jay and DJ Run. Dum diddy dum diddy diddy dum dum. I'm rocking on the mic and you know where I'm from. Dum diddy dum diddy diddy dum dum. There we go. It came from disc jockeys in the early 50s at the Radio, the USA. Look up DJ Jacko. Uh-huh. So let's go back into let's listen to what Kool Herc had to say.
What are your thoughts about classic music, classic hip hop and classic R&B, classic breaks? What are your thoughts about that?
It's good, and it's good to remember, but at the same time, the people spending for studio time and all of that, give them that prime time shot too. You know what I'm saying? Somebody need that little, and they're giving it up. Come on, you're paying old stuff for 6 hours. And I mean, it's good, but come on. Give me some new people stuff, man.
So what about the people, our generation, don't hear the music that we grew up on anymore? So what we supposed to do?
A guy like me, then you hear that stuff. We need a station all DJs run our goddamn self. Period. I'll do a time share. Give me my slot. Give me my slot.
Where can we find you at?
Find me in the Bronx, if I'm in Manhattan, anywhere. I move around.
Radio?
No, I'm still in the mountains.
Okay.
And they won't show me the money. Okay. Guys want me to be on their show to make them look good and say that nobody said her. You get in on $100 a week. Nobody tell me that. But I know they not there for their own whatever. I work this. It's my hustle. If you're talking about me, give me mine. Either yes or no. That's it. I'm not sticking nobody out.
And what are your thoughts about the future of hip hop?
Right now, there's too much MC without.
All right. We got Brick City AZ in the building. Salute, my brother. Salute. Ali Al in the building. What's good, bro?
Peace, big bro. What's going on there, God?
Oh man, we was talking about this yesterday. I had to bring this to the forefront, man. So what you think about all these people claiming, all these outlets claiming that hip hop started in? Because I remember back in Jamaica, back in the day when we first heard about reggae, it was Bob Marley, and he was singing, he was croning, he was sounding like Keith Sweat with a Jamaican accent, begging. Come on, man. I ain't no hip hop reggae until what was it, the early 90s when Shabba Ranks came out? Shabba.
To me, they're the best artists. Those still the best artists to this day.
Yeah.
That era.
Yeah. Sean Paul was nice.
Yeah, he came a little bit after, but that whole reign between the 90s to the early 2000s to me was the best run of reggae ever. That's no doubt about that. That whole run, that whole 90s to the 2000s was the best run they ever had.
Yeah. And then they started reggaeton for Puerto Rico, right? They started reggaeton shit for the Latinos.
Yeah, but then even hip hop credits that, because without Nori, you wouldn't have never even recognized or cared about those guys. Noriega was the one that really put them on with that.
And hold on, and Noriega, he half black and half Puerto Rican. He was born in America.
I don't do the half stuff. I get what you're saying, but as I get older,
that's what he said.
Yeah, I know there's no such thing as half to the oppressor.
No. I believe he's black.
He says he is too. He says that too. And when you think about the oppressor looking at you as that. So there's no half with them. They don't play around with that half shit. Only us ignorant people that do that, that want to try to take a piece of something else is the only ones that play that half shit. The oppressors make it very simple to us what we are. We're not them, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Facts. And we said, hold up. The first one to bring any kind of dance or vibe to hip hop was KRS-One in 86, 87.
Run that back again.
He said the first one to bring any kind of dance or vibe to hip hop was KRS-One back in 86, 87. I
can't deny
that either. Because he did
I can't deny nor
confirm.
I can't deny or factually certify that. I that's kind of over my head because I really don't know the validity of what that person is trying to mean. They got to be a little bit more detailed than that.
No, when KRS-One back in like 86, KRS-One first started dropping his albums. He'll do the reggae. He's on the reggae when it's rap sometime.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I can't deny to say that's not true because to be honest with you, KRS was probably one of the first ones that kind of brought that vibe into hip hop. And even though he was rapping intellectually, he still kind of correlated and put that together. Kind of like how I was saying, Nori brought the reggaeton into rap. I can't really deny that Chris didn't do that. I mean, I can't from what I go back to think about it. I was a kid, but I don't recall anybody else doing that before him to be 100. So If he want to give Chris that, he can give him that. But not giving Foundationals the credit that's deserved as far as music, period. Because even I don't care what genre of music it was, the people that's from this country, that's natively born here, you know what I'm saying, that real native Indians here are the ones that created majority of all these genre of music. And that's a fact. That's not even a debate. So anybody that debates that is just somebody that's from somewhere else that's just trying to give wherever they're from some credit. And I get it, but you can't do that.
I'm sorry, go ahead. You got to think about this too. The first dancing and praise dancing came from Africa. What you think they used to do in Africa? The war dances and all that. That came from Africa. So it was Foundation for Black Americans. Foundation for Black Americans. What that mean? We derived from African slaves, Africans. You know what I'm saying? But we in this country. So all that stuff that they took from Africa, they brought to America. All that dancing, all that singing, when they were slaves in the field. We didn't hear no reggae there, motherfuckers. Well, I'm Jonathan Kidd in the building. Dancing, all that singing, when they were slaves in the field. Yo, Jonathan Kidd, you gotta hang up your YouTube. We didn't hear no reggae there, motherfuckers.
Peace.
Thanks to the God.
Peace. Now, just to clarify what I was saying is, if I'm not saying that they invented it, I was just saying the first time I ever heard any type of reggae chanting that made it popular
was KRS-One song. Yeah.
KRS-One, when he came out with The Bridges Over, his whole, mostly all the songs on his first album, a couple of songs on his first album. But to be politically correct, FBA all day. Real talk. And I'll be 53 years old this year. So I remember hearing the first rap, on the radio in Chicago, and even dancing to stuff like King Tim III and all that in the early 70s and stuff like that in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Doing the robot and all this and all that. And the dancing came from FBA, the graffiti came from FBA, the music came from FBA.
Can't hear you. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I said the DJing came from FBA, and the rapping came from FBA. If you look back, go to scatting.
That's why I said scatting. Back in Alabama in the South.
That's all I'm saying. I mean,
that's
all we want to say on
it. It's Charleston White Ember. All the dances from Cuba, Puerto Rico, etc. were created by Africans. The mambo, salsa, etc. Yeah.
No. Well, salsa was their version of doing jazz when they used to go to the jazz clubs in Harlem. That's where salsa came from. The Latin people wanted to learn jazz, wanted to play jazz. That's where salsa came from.
Hold on, parts of Greg Bennett. Greg Bennett, let me say something to Greg Bennett real quick. Greg Bennett. My great-grandfather was the son of a slave. He was born in West Indies, but his father was from Africa. My great-grandfather, he was alive, he'd be in his mid-100s. He'd be like 120 or some shit like that right now, bro. My great-grandfather, not my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my father's grandfather. So, you know what I'm saying? You want to talk about it, I can talk about it because I know my history and my lineage, you know what I'm saying? So everybody that's black was not born in America back then. It was some that was here, it was some that came here. It's some that was what they call them, I don't want to call them the Indians, what they call them, Native Americans that was already here, that was our complexion. But also, you got to think about it, how we travel the land. We travel. How you think Hannibal conquered all Italy and Sicily, all that? Or horse or elephant back. Because Africans, blacks, we travel. So we from everywhere. We're universal. That's what I'm saying. I ain't gonna argue about it, but go ahead, yeah.
Well, you're also missing the fact that people don't realize that when during that slave trade, basically, because that's what was going on, transatlantic slave trade, they also, when they brought people here, they actually took people from here and put them to those islands too. So some of them people in them islands actually were natively born here, and they put them over there. See, people don't talk about that. So that's why I know a lot of people educational span is not that wide, especially not as wide as mine, because I read and I study all those things. So, you know, when it really comes down to it, you don't see an Asian from Korea talking about, oh yeah, I'm from China, or you don't see a person from China saying, oh, my family from Indonesia. The problem is the foundational Afro, Native, Aboriginal, Indian American, whatever you want to call us, the actual brown people that originally are from here, they don't really give those people the identification that they really deserve. So it kind of leaves us open to where we have to be considered African American. An African American is an African that came to America. That's basically what an African American is. And to say that the people that's from here is an African American, right? To force that on them, what you're really doing is you're forcing those foreigners to be included in everything that we do, because they want to say they're the same as us, so they don't have to really put in the work that was put in before they got here. That's really why all this is going on. It's a slap in the face to the foundationals. And that's what nobody really wants to talk about, but it's the real truth. They don't deserve the kudos and the accolades that the people that from here put in, because these people died here. You understand? They ass wouldn't want to come here if it wasn't founded. They would have stayed their ass right where they were at, and that's the truth. You don't leave somewhere that's good and great to go somewhere else that's fucked up. No, you left there because it was fucked up over there. That's why you brought your ass over in the first place. So what you're supposed to do is fall in line, be respectful to the ones that's there, right? And put in some fucking work. That's why you see this Panther on, because them Panthers put in work. So stop trying to front and pump fake like you are better than the people that are from here, because your ass ain't. Because if you were, you would have came here.
That's why you see the 7. That's the truth. That's why you see the 7 on, because the guys put in work.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So you know, but yo, I want you to hear this. I want you to tell me what you think about this. I want you to hear this real quick. I want to know what y'all think about this, man. And yo, we're gonna be real. I'm gonna be real blunt about this shit, because I don't really like the nigga like that. But I want y'all to what is this nigga? What is this nigga?
Man, Busta Rhymes and Fat Joe horrible. That's all I know. Them niggas is horrible.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about right here.
Get into talk to them. Talk about them later. For real.
What's poppin' already, you mob? It's your boy B.I.G. Another lit video. Today we talking about the coming form of
Hold up, Here we go.
First of all, my mother.
Fat gangster.
90%. I'll give you 80% black. Still, my grandmother's projects is 99.9% black. Be clear. So I'm Spanish. I knew I was Latino, but the whole time I thought I was black anyway. So my mom's lived there 40 years before I was born in this project. And I'm born, blonde hair, green eyes. She brings me this shit crazy, right? She brings me there. The first thing they go, look at this little nigga Joey. He got green eyes. The minute I'm walking, the guys from the building's like, yo, look at that little nigga Joey, little fat Joey. That's all I knew my whole life, before even elementary. Then high school, then junior high, and so it's a lot of woke society or something going on these days, and Twitter and all that I guess they don't understand where I come from, where I was born, or how I was raised, or how I lived my whole entire life.
Stone C salute.
We use it as love, but we know that the record states that this is a negative word that I wish we never used it.
Same.
You know, and I try my best to try to but you know, Fat Joe knows his green eyes. I've been saying this thing in my DNA. It's hard, bro. I really, seriously, I've been trying to stop. You know what I'm saying? But I've been saying this since I was born. Yeah. So I tried the greatest level I can to try to understand. If I'm offending anybody, that's cool. But I want them to know no one's going to pressure Fat Joe into feeling or saying anything that he loves or he believes in. No one's ever going to do that. You get one life and ain't nobody going to try to tell me what to say.
All right. Now, y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard the fat nigga reflecting on why it was right for him to say the N-word.
He's supposed to be shut down right then and there. Right then and there. As soon as he opened his fat mouth and started talking crazy, Charlemagne and them should have stepped up and let him know, hey, bro, you going way to the left. The reason why I believe Joe, based off me dealing with him, because I have a relationship with him and my family. When he had, I'm going back to the 560 gear that he owned, the clothing line he had in the 90s.
Yeah.
I've been around Joe quite a few times, magic shows in Vegas, all that. The realization is that, like he said, because he grew up in the BX and particular projects around us, he feels that entitlement, which if you fast forward to 2023 is going on to this day, where you see a lot of these Hispanics basically use a lot of words and terminology that technically they could never use when we were kids because they already got jaws in their mouth. Straight up, they was never able to say that stuff back in the 80s and 90s growing up. They couldn't say that. None of that stuff.
Fat Joe's a white Puerto Rican. He's not a black Puerto Rican. That's the main thing right there. The nigga is a white Puerto Rican. He's not a black Puerto Rican. Black Puerto Ricans, them the ones we grew up with. When they came out looking like this motherfucker, what we do? They say that nigga when we punch him in their fucking mouth.
Well, no, we grew up with ones that look like him too. Now let's not fake. Let's not front now. Nah, it's plenty of Puerto Ricans.
But they don't use that fucking N-word around me.
No, they didn't use the N-word. No, they definitely used the N-word. But back then the N-word was not a word that we actually used like that towards each other anyway. We really didn't use the N-word. The N-word was considered a bad word back then, especially growing up listening to stuff like KRS-One and like you said, African X-Claim.
Hold on, Maki. No, his mother's not black. He said his mother was raised in a black project for 40 years before he was born. His mother wasn't black, not at all.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. Now what I was saying is that basically is that we, growing up, there was quite a few Puerto Ricans and Dominican descendants, because I'm gonna put it in perspective, because that's what he is, and that's what the majority of the people we grew up with. They were not from those islands; they were descendants of those islands, meaning that their parents are actually the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans. So that's number one. Number two, something that he also said out his mouth was incorrect. He said Spanish. They're using Spanish. Then they're using Puerto Rican. He's using all these things fluent. No, bro. If you're Spanish, you are what you call a white Hispanic, right?
A European.
Exactly. So he's
a European.
So exactly. So when they say that, they're technically saying that they're in line with the Spaniards that actually came over here with the people that sailed from England for Columbus and them. See, that's the thing that people don't really talk about. All these Hispanics really are just descendants of the oppressors when they came over here and enslaved these people. So when they say they're Spanish, they're actually trying to play both sides. They're trying to play and get the benefits of saying they're Spanish by saying that they're Caucasian, but at the same time, they're admitting that they're the descendants of those oppressors. So my whole point is that we really shouldn't really be messing with them like that unless they show that there is some sort of respect for us, for the stuff that they got in the first place, whether it's immigration, whether it's any type of rights they got it from our ancestors. There's no debating that, even up to this moment of even how he dressed right there. You go look at pictures of Fat Joe when he was younger, he ain't dressed nothing like that because they didn't really dress. Them Puerto Ricans didn't know how to dress back then. Any of them people that was foreigners from somewhere else did not know how to dress. The foundation is the one that gave them the dress, gave them the culture, gave them the coolness, all that. And he knows that. That's why if you look at Fat Joe, all the people he hung around when he was coming up in the Bronx, he didn't have no swag. He wasn't no cool dude. He was corny. He know all the Puerto Ricans was corny. And they had fights, wars, what they would call race wars, whatever you want to call it, which it really wasn't race wars. It was really ethnic wars because they're white. Majority of them Hispanics were white. Not all of them, but majority of them were considered to be white. So really, they don't even talk about that, how they didn't even get along. They didn't mess with them people. It was only 1 or 2 Puerto Ricans usually in every group that was cool that hung out with us. And them the ones that actually learned how to do all the parts of hip hop, whether it was breaking, whether it was rapping, what have you. They're the ones that learned that. So they can't take their faces and turn around like Crazy Legs and say, oh, we did this or did that. Man, knock it off. You know damn well, Crazy Legs, you ain't create nothing. They was spinning, popping, and rocking since the 1940s. They got videos of this stuff. Tariq Nasheed showed all this already. So they bugging. They bugging. They bugging. If you want to be cool and be with us, just be with us. But don't try to be with us and then try to individually start piecing, layering things away for yourself, because that's what oppressors do. You know what I'm saying? That's what culture vultures do. That's what they're doing. They're actually acting out like them, and it shows because they're being labeled as Caucasians. I don't care. They go through the prison system. You know, big bro. They label it as W. They get a freaking W with a band when they go in these jails.
Hold on. Let me say one thing. The real Charles. Let me say one thing. 7:30. Big Pun is not a white Puerto Rican. Big Pun is a dark complected Puerto Rican. If you want to be honest, he's not as dark as me, but he's nowhere near as white as Fat Joe. So
he will be like Mestizo. Mestizo, they call him Mestizo. They call him basically any one of them that has a little more brown in their skin. They pretty much would say acknowledgement that they have a brother. They have some type of brother lineage in their family, some Negro, in their family, basically. I mean, it's no different than what's her name, Jocelyn. What the one from the Love and Hip Hop?
Jocelyn Hernandez. Jocelyn
Hernandez. Exactly. It's no different than her and quite a few other ones that's pretty much they call themselves Afro, Latinos, whatever the case is. So basically, Pun would fall maybe in line a little bit more with that, considering you look at his hue compared to Fat Joe's hue, it's totally different. But you never heard Pun disrespect or say any of the stuff that Joe's saying out of his mouth. Even Joe never said that craziness out of his mouth. I just think that as he's gotten older, Joe has been kind of lining himself with the lighter Hispanics, and it just shows that it's starting to come out of him. Even though he may not want to admit that, but his actions speak louder than his words. You got to look at him and see how he's carrying himself, and that's why I respect Papoose for jawing him in his mouth the way he did, because of the disrespect. And maybe Remy didn't see it at the time, but Papoose being a brother, like, hey, man, you got to check these jokers, man. Yeah, you know about that beef they had some years ago, and how he lied and tried to say he's funny. He beat Papoose up, and he know damn well that ain't what happened. Papoose jawed his ass. He jawed him 3 times, bro, by itself. So, I just think it's like Fat Joe got to stop. He got to stop trying to be cool with everybody. Stop trying to be cool with everybody and culturally put yourself appropriately the way you're supposed to be. You can't be everything and everywhere. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to put himself into every situation and have an opinion and say so in everything, as if he's a founding father of hip hop and rap when he's not. And that's what it is. Nobody really shut Fat Joe down for all this talking that he's been doing.
The Digging in the Crates crew back then, Fat Joe was supposed to be God-body. Yo. What happened to all the non-self?
Speaking of God, buddy, what's up with Busta?
What's up with Busta? Busta Bust.
Yeah, he should be next. He should be next.
What do Busta have to say? I'm going to hear what Busta has to say. Hold on.
No, my thing is he's supposed to be a lost 5%, and he's saying that we have no culture.
When listen to this, here we go.
God.
How do you think your music has influenced the Latin music and its culture?
I think that, my family is Jamaican, and Latino and Jamaican are Caribbean people. With tropical people, with people that understand what that timing and that rhythm and that pocket feels like, in a way unlike any other culture of people. From the bass lines to the way we choose to place our words as people of the Caribbean and of the tropics. I think that it's just it's something you can't really define in words. It's a feeling thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you watch Latinos do the South Side of merengue and you see Jamaican people, do they shit. It's kind of like something that goes hand in hand. And, it ain't a coincidence that in every urban community, Latino and blacks is there together. That ain't no accident. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not like you find in every urban community, you know, Middle Eastern and black or Asian and black. You know, you always see Latino and black. And I think we just so a part of each other's cultural significance, not only as tropical people, but even here in the United States, where the multicultural, because the U.S. ain't got no culture. They shit is all our shit. A bunch of our shit is what makes the U.S. whatever you want to call it. We still don't know what that culture is for the U.S., but it's a mix-up of all of our cultures. And in the urban community, you know, the Latino and the West Indian has the greatest influence, and we've always had, and we'll always will, and it's just been that way. So I've actually been influenced by the Latino community, which allows me to feel that much more comfortable putting my West Indian influence in my music, because they made me feel that much more proud to be like, yeah, man, Lisa Jamaican, and I say it. But I'm just saying, a lot of the times, it ain't until you're made to feel comfortable giving it to the people who and what you really are, what your influences are, your upbringing in the house, that you do it. So, you know, being that I've been made to feel comfortable doing it, I think I also got to acknowledge and credit the Latinos for their influence on me, just the same way that I've been able to take that influence and give it back to the music. But a lot of that just has to do with just being around it, growing up.
All right. We back, y'all. Now, yo, Lord, say what you gotta say, Lord. Jonathan King, Lord, say what you gotta say, bro. Speak your shit, Lord.
All right, number one. He's saying the FBADOS, I'll just put it like that, has no type of culture, right? Yet and still he claimed the culture of our God. And the culture of our God came from an original man by the name of Allah the Father, or Father Allah, or when he left, before he left the nation, Clarence 13X.
Clarence 13X.
Who was from where?
Virginia. Danville, Virginia. Danville, Virginia, right? Danville.
Thank you. So you embrace our culture and want to be God when it's convenient.
Salute Harlem Nights. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now you feeling your oats and say we are trash, you know, and you all right, now you say, oh yeah. Jamaicans did this. Yeah, Jamaicans did that, and da and yada yada. You know, but I'm also doing the knowledge at the place he's speaking at, because you gotta look at the background. Look at the background of the place he's speaking at. Well, say Urban Latin is an urban Latin music festival.
Momo, peace claim. Momo B, peace in the building. Yeah.
So by him speaking on that, he's trying to make it seem like, yeah, if it wasn't for us, you know, the Caribbean or the Caribbeans, whatever, however you want to pronounce it, it wouldn't be no hip hop. That's what he's trying to imply.
Yeah.
Just like they try to imply that Disco King Mario family was from the Caribbean, and his family's his own blood family members said ain't nothing about us Puerto Rican. We're from the Carolinas. See, this is what they call culture appropriate. This is culture appropriation. This is what I meant by that first statement. If hip hop wasn't making money, and I say this to everybody, if you couldn't make money with the hip hop culture, would you still be doing it? If you couldn't make money off the hip hop culture, would you still be doing it? How many motherfuckers? Excuse my language. How many people would have studios in their crib? How many people would be trying to, you know, do clothing or do this or do that and the other?
Facts.
If you could not make money off this culture, a lot of people didn't come into it. Hip hop saved my life. I'm gonna tell you like that straight up. The culture of hip hop saved my life. Real talk. I was in this culture. I was embracing this culture when people in Chicago thought it was corny. Now the same cats that thought it was corny is the ones that's doing it. Imagine that. I'm done.
Say yeah, speak your shit, bro. Speak your shit. Yo, we got my other bro here, man. Speak your speak, bro. Speak your speak, bro. Alial. Speak your talk,
You want me
man.
to talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to talk? You want me to talk? Okay.
Yeah.
There's quite a few issues here, like the brother just spoke, that pretty much he just highlighted quite a few things. And one of the things he was saying, basically, he was talking about culture misappropriation. Basically, is what Busta Rhymes and Joey Smack was pretty much embodying.
Yeah.
What they're really doing basically is that they sat there, they soaked up the game. They got involved with a lot of the original respectable people that were inside of hip hop as it was being founded. They got down with those particular groups of people. And then what they did was they sat there quietly because they didn't have nothing to say at the time. They were corny. They learned all the stuff they need to learn. Some of those individuals have lost their life since then, have left us. And some of them just got real cool enough with these guys now, where they're the generation now pretty much that's considered to be the OGs of everything now, that they're able to say these things that they're saying and they're not being challenged on it. That's basically how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
You know, even if you look at the cameraman went, as Busta Rhymes was talking, notice, cameraman went down to his feet, and went down to his feet and went back up. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to make it look like that fashionable and trending wise, that their supposed fashion is what we follow behind. All that's nonsense. That's cap. They didn't wear any of those things back then. They were wearing stuff that we didn't care about, nor do we want to wear, and they know that.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you what they were wearing back then. Let me tell you what they were wearing back then. I remember church pants, open-toe sandals, the leather sandals with the buckle across the front. That and they was wearing church pants, open-toe sandals, bell bottoms, and the button-up shirts that look like checkerboard shirts, and ugly ass sweaters. Let's keep it real.
Colorful ass flannable shirts too. They was wearing.
Yeah.
All them Caribbean cats wore them colorful ass shirts like they down there in Miami Vice somewhere. They was wearing that stuff. So my things I remember as a kid, they was wearing that stuff because Miami Vice was popping back then. That was like the hottest show on TV.
Yeah,
you know. So I just don't understand, other than the fact that, you know, it really boils down to that the foundationals that's here, right, have been forced to be integrated with these individuals from all over the world. And remember, they all are extended family. They are extended brothers and sisters. That's no denying that. But we're the only group of people that's being forced upon, where everybody from everywhere is able to come over here, right? Bring their supposed influence that they have from there, the place that they fled, the place that they didn't control, but they came over here to tell us what we're supposed to be doing and how we're supposed to be living. That right there in itself is unacceptable. That just because we allowed you to come over here, and when I say allowed them, the Caucasians are the oppressors, you know, ones that control my immigration and all that. We don't really control it per se, but they are always coming into our neighborhoods to have to live. Just like right now, I got about 3 or 4 families, look like DACA families, that's moved in over here. Don't know where these people are from, but they're here, and they can't go nowhere else because them Caucasians don't want them in the neighborhood. So a lot of them coming really is just them being forced upon us. We didn't ask them to come over here; they wanted to come over here. So we try to get along with them. We don't want to be biased towards them because they're our extended family. But the problem is they're coming over here with the wrong mindset, right? They're not really tapping in or checking in with us that's here, so we can actually appropriately educate them and show them what is appropriate and what's not appropriate. And that's what's going on here. They're doing a lot of things that's inappropriate, and it's causing problems because they're becoming the new culture vultures, and they're looking like us. So, and it's like they need to be checked on that. They got to cut that out because, you know, Kool Herc and all of them never said that they were the first of anything. Kool Herc never said that in that interview. He never said that in any of that. They just want to give it to him because they learn a lot of stuff that other people do.
Kool Herc just said, when they say you want to pioneer, you want to found the fathers. He's like, I am the founding father. That's what he said.
He said he one of the founding fathers, or he is the founding father.
He said he is the founding father. Hold on. Why you play that back for you real quick?
Oh wow, I didn't hear that part. No, that's crazy if he said that. No, I ain't heard that part.
Hold on. Here we go right here.
Wow. I ain't heard that part.
Here we go right here.
Wow.
From the beginning.
Yeah, I must have missed that part because I did come in when he was already talking. Wow.
Here you go.
It's one of the founding fathers of hip hop. Kool Herc, y'all.
No, not one of the founding fathers.
Why you
The founding father. I don't
know.
Oh,
hell no. Nah.
And Lion.
Nah. Oh wow. Yeah, he poked his chest. He poked his chest all the way out. He like this. Nah. He wrong as hell, man. Because see, what it is they've been giving him that title so long, big bro, that it's kind of like it's being ingrained to him to actually just step up and say it. Because people probably been talking to him like, yo, just claim the title because nobody else is claiming it. That's how I'm looking at it. Because why would he just out of nowhere just all of a sudden start doing that? So he's starting to feel himself like how Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes is feeling themselves. And you know, a lot of people don't want to call Fat Joe and them out. I saw a comment go up. I think a lot of people don't want to call Fat Joe.
Hold on, one second. 7:30. Rich Porter taught Apple country ass how to dress. Let's keep it real. No, Rich Porter taught Apple how to dress, nigga. Let's be honest. Go ahead. What he said? He said, why didn't
I was saying somebody put it
right here.
It's a comment up.
Right there, right?
Yeah, that one right there.
Why ain't no rapper speaking up on Busta Rhymes and Fat Joe?
Good question. What I was saying is to put my 2 cents in is I believe they're not speaking up on him because hip hop. I'm gonna say rap. Let's take away hip hop and rap. It's two different things. Rap is not competitive like it used to be, where people didn't mess with you back then, especially when they knew they may have to battle you eventually. It's all this friend buddy stuff, kind of like what LeBron is in the NBA. It's kind of like that with hip hop. So a lot with rap. So a lot of these people don't really want to say nothing about them because I think they're looking at the relationship with them and maybe one day they can work with them or whatever the case is. And that's what to me is watered down rap because it's not competitive like it used to be. They supposed to call both of them all the way out. I don't give a damn what contribution they put into the game. They supposed to have been checked and somebody supposed to have made a rhyme about them dissing both of them. They both supposed to be getting dissed. And a rhyme. Am I right? Am I wrong?
You're right.
It ain't happening. Why? Because they want to be friends. They got this LeBron James syndrome with rap right now. Everybody want to be friends, and I just think that it's lacking competitiveness. And it also really does is it just shows that these individuals are not really practicing the true art form of the rap itself. They're more or less just trying to be friends. And they don't want to, I guess, rub them wrong and say something, and they think they're going to get something from them later. That's how I'm looking at it, because there's no other reason why nobody called them out. We got some highly intelligent rappers out here that easily could have called them out. Like, for instance, KRS-One. Why KRS-One didn't say nothing? Why? They all friends. They all friends.
Because KRS-One is originally from the islands itself also.
That's right.
Exactly.
He's Jamaican.
That's true. You know, Busta Rhymes' family is not from Jamaica anyway. His family background is the Virgin Islands, if I'm not mistaken. But he said Jamaica because they like to give Jamaica the lead when it comes to reggae. That's just the way it is. But realistically, Busta's family is not Jamaican. And then also, too, go back to Busta Rhymes' history, back with Leaders of the New School. You ain't never heard him integrate none of that patois, none of that nonsense. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Exactly.
You're 100% right.
When all of a sudden he started using that in his rhyme? Come on.
He started using that when it got hot. He started using that when it got hot, bro.
But you know,
exactly.
If anything, you know who else was using kind of like a patois that they forget if they want to go there on that? Heavy D.
Yeah. Heavy D Jamaican too. Heavy D.
Yeah, Heavy D is Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah, his mother and father.
West Indies, right? Or Jamaican? So. West Indies or Jamaican?
Well, what do you mean West Indies or Jamaica? West Indies is part of Jamaica. Jamaica's part of the West Indies.
Yeah.
But all them islands. You mean what part of the West Indies, bro? Is what you mean? I got you. He's from He's a first generation of Jamaican. His mother and father is born in Jamaica. Heavy D.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And what's his cousin name? The DJ. What's the nigga name?
Pete Rock.
He's Jamaican. Pete Rock is Jamaican. We're first cousins.
Just Dice.
Yeah.
I think Just Dice is Jamaican. If I'm
Just
not
Dice?
Okay, rapper Just Dice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the thing. We have a lot of people from the Caribbean.
The thing is, Just Dice, he gave credit to, as far as this hip hop thing, he gave credit to Disco King Mario. He
As
said
he should.
On what part of the Bronx you was in, who you heard, and who you was influenced by, and what party.
Rasheed Layton, piece of the God. Hey, yo, hold up. Now somebody said something I agree with right now. He's like, Jamaicans had
right
no revolution in their own country. They still colonized.
That's right. That's a fact. A whole fact. And speaking of that comment, right? I'm gonna give you a quick little story. Just on that comment alone, right? You got the it's the bookstore downtown Newark, right? Right across the street from City Hall, called Source of Knowledge, right?
Yep.
Everybody pretty much, it's one of the only Nubian-owned stores that we actually have in Jersey, period. You know, and it's owned, the whole building is owned by that family, right?
What's the old lady name? She sent me all my books. Good lady.
Well, it's two ladies. It's two ladies in there. I don't know exactly which one you're talking about, but one of them is Patrice, and the other one is Masani, and then you got Dexter.
I'm talking about the older one that always dressed in the Muslim garb. The older one, the dressed in the African garb.
Patrice. It's probably Patrice, Sister Patrice.
The oldest one. She's the older one. Yeah.
She's mostly there most of the time. Yes, Patrice.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a story about that, right? If you go in there, you know how there's sometimes there be, especially in the summer months, there's a brother with locks that be in the front selling like a table full of stuff, African type of bracelets. He be having like waist beads and all that type of stuff from different parts of Africa. Majority from Ghana. Right. That's brother is very smart, right? His name escapes me at the moment because I'm trying to think of something. It'll come back to me. But the thing is, right, I'm speaking to this store because he's from Jamaica, right? And when he's from Jamaica, I have conversations with him. And a lot of times, unfortunately, when you want to be culturally appropriate and you talk to these people, you really got to be honest with them. It's going to may hurt their feelings because they haven't really been told a lot this. But when you came from the place you came from, right? You left over there because obviously something was not right. Whether it was you weren't able to make a good, decent living, money-wise, maybe you're living in a little hut over there, a shack, whatever the case may be, you in the slums. There was something that was not right in order for you to come here. But it's also this part that a lot of people don't talk about. A lot of the American propaganda has been pushed into these islands and to these different other walks of life to push them to come over here. Because remember, immigration is money. They make money off of these people when they come over here. So you have to really make them think that this is the best place in the world, and that every place in the world is pretty much lower standard of living compared to the United States. So I asked him, and because he's in his 80s, so I asked him, I said, well, why'd you come to America? Did he tell me, well, Ali, I came to America because, at that time they was allowing us to come over. We didn't really have to go through too much from immigration status. We just have to have a family member over here and we can come right in. So it was much easier to come over back then. And he just said that, I just wanted to get a different scenery. But I'm saying this because a lot of times when you talk to those people, they've been brainwashed a lot of negative stuff about the people that's here. But at the same time, they've been told, come over here because we have these opportunities for you. Because the people that's over there are lazy and the people over here don't want to work. And they don't really understand that the reason why they're being told that because we're the only ones they can't get rid of. They can't force us to move somewhere else because we're foundational here. And we're the only ones that fought and still fighting these oppressors. Every other place in the world you go to that live amongst the oppressor, they don't fight them like they fight us, like we fight them here. And they know that. So they don't want them to come in and integrate with us to be powerful and to join in because we're going to have more power when it's all of us together. We don't have power without each other. We only have power when we're together. So that's why I'm saying all this, because the brother Noel, that's his name, Noel. So if you ever see him in the front, his name is Noel. Noel really got a little sore about that, but I told Noel, brother, we got to be honest with you. You ran from where you were from to come over here because it was told you it was easier to make it because you couldn't handle those colonizers over there. Them Brits over there ain't playing with y'all. You know what I'm saying? And even though they don't really be living in Jamaica like we are amongst them in this country, they still run that island. They're still colonized regardless. And that's why that comment, whoever put that up, in the short amount of words they use, I respect it because it's the truth. It's the real cold hard truth.
All right, now we got Black Mass. Busta Rhymes got on stage in front of all white people and said, "We made the popular to say the word nigga." He said, "I was done with him after that." He said, "I was done with that whole from that day." Yeah. All right, then we got my boy Stone C. Stone C. Puerto Ricans and Cubans are black, but they also got white Puerto Ricans and Cubans, just like we got white people in America. They come from Asians too. Asians too. They come from the Spaniard. They come from the Spaniard line. The Spanish is in Europe. Spain is in Europe. So anybody that say they from Spain or they Spanish, they're European. So that's why we mix it up like we mix it up. I said some Puerto Ricans are black and some Cubans are black because some are white as hell and think they're Spanish. They don't think of themselves as Puerto Ricans. They think of themselves as white. I was in the Feds. When I was in the Feds, I was a Fed with this guy from Sicily. His name was Angelo. So he was like, he said he's black. I'm talking about he white. He's white. He said he's black. On his car, on his identification card, in the Feds, on the identification card, it didn't have W. It had B for black. While the Dominicans and everybody else had W for white.
Wow.
Him and his other Italian friends. Because he said he's Sicilian. He said he's black.
I'm glad you talk about this too, because it was something else I saw, right, big bro? You know what it is? I forget who it is. It's gonna come to my mind. But somebody was getting on somebody. It was on YouTube somewhere or something. Somebody was getting on the fact that that's what it was. It was a YouTuber, right? They was trying to get on Jocelyn by showing her mugshot when she got arrested, I think a month or so ago. And they were trying to say that her ethnicity was underneath W. And they was like, well, see how these people are. They come over here, but then they want to get the benefit of being Caucasian. But somebody made a comment, right, which makes sense. Because, see, they don't really know the system, how it works. Somebody made a comment saying, no, she didn't say that was what she was. That was the eye of the beholder, the person that checked her ass in when they went through the system. When she got locked up, it was the CO that identified her as that. And they don't really understand that's how it really works. They don't ask you what your ethnicity is and ask you to fill it out what you are. They tell you what you are by writing it down on the paper. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Facts. No.
So why did this person?
No. Oh yeah, no. No, when you get booked in, usually I know when I got booked in, they have to paper you got to sign your ethnicity. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
They do. Okay.
You be like, there's some black, da. It's only black and white. Ain't other. It's black and white. So this Sicilian man said, no, I'm black. Him and his partners all had black on their ID. And I'm black. He's like, you're a white boy. He's like, nah, I'm black. I'm Sicilian. I'm black. Yeah, look at my ID. He showed me his ID. They had B for black. He knew his history.
So the reason why I'm saying that,
the
reason why I was just saying that, because I can't really recall if they asked for, say, I know you may be a little bit more in tune with that for sure. I know some facilities, like the county jails, all of them don't always ask that. Some of them don't ask it. They book you in on their own. So again, this is Florida. I think she got locked up, and I'm not sure where Jocelyn was at. I think it was Florida, but you know, Florida operates totally different than most places in the country. So I don't know if she had the option to put her own race there, or they just categorize her on their own. But what I was just trying to say basically is that sometimes we don't get a chance to categorize ourselves. Sometimes they do it themselves. So we don't know the specifics on if she actually was able to label herself or they labeled her. But if she did put that W there, then she wrong, 100% facts, because she know damn well ain't nobody looking at her saying, oh, she's Caucasian. But remember, you know, they do, some of the places do that. They give you the W because of your last name. So if you have a Hispanic last name, I don't care if you black as the night, they'll still give you the Caucasian. They give you that W because your last name was a Spanish last name. So it all depends on who's checking you in and what facility that is all I basically was trying to say, because somebody was trying to get on her, and I don't know the whole full facts of what that was. You know what I mean? I don't know what jurisdiction that was. We don't know the mindset of them. I just know that around this country,
the South. I'm telling you, the South. Well, I was in the South. I got locked in Virginia before. for a fucking speeding ticket, and they didn't ask me my ethnicity on the paper. They didn't ask the South.
That's right.
You all what they say, y'all. But up here,
That's right.
We're able to speak our mind, just like how they wouldn't let the black CEOs and the black police officers in New Jersey have Sunni bears.
Okay.
Now they allowed to because we speak our mind. We speak up for what we believe.
Okay. So I just wanted to point that. I just wanted to point that part out because see, I don't want to knock that sister like not when people not knowing that the system itself is already biased, it's already racist, so they already have it in the system as you're either one of them or you're not. The only problem is when a lot of these foreigners be coming here, especially the Hispanic ones, right? They allow them to kind of use a little tiptoe tactic here and a tiptoe tactic so they can kind of blend in everywhere. But I was always told if you all over the place, that means you don't stand for nothing because you ain't got no solid foundation for yourself. So a lot of these Hispanics, they're being allowed to say they're this, to say they're that. But when we look at them, we'll know they're not from here, or we know that they're, you know what I mean, they're part of us or not. We're not stupid. And that's how a lot of times we know when somebody's from the islands or wherever they're from, because foundationals here, we know if you're from here or not. We know. We could just talk to you for 1 minute and know if your ass is from here or not. And it's the same as that. If you go over to where they're from, they know if we're from America or not. They're not stupid. They know. So I just don't understand.
They know by the way you dress. They know by the way you dress and carry yourself that you're from America.
The words that come out of you, the chosen words of your mouth, mannerisms, all of that. They know. So that's why I'm just saying, I just think it's funny to say that we all, white supremacy, we all fall in line. Yes, we do. But realistically, ethically, we're not the same at all. We've never been the same. And they know that. It's just that, you know, now it's kind of like they want us to dumb down that we're from here and that we have our own culture here versus where they're from, because they want to integrate with us and they want to accept whatever it is that's good about us. They want to accept that. But whatever thing that's bad about it, they want to moonwalk back to where they're from and say, oh, I'm from over here. My family raised me to be from Haiti. So I'm moonwalking back over here. So they want to play in and out. You know what I'm saying? We don't play that over here because you can't be in and out. It's either you with us or you're not, because those in and out people are the ones that we can never trust. We can never trust those people. That's why they ran from where they from, because they didn't want to fight where they were. We don't do that over here. We got to fight. We got to fight every day of our lives over here. We have no choice.
Hold on. Yo, Lord, you heard what he said, Lord? What he said is that's why they ran from where they from, because they didn't want to fight.
Actual facts. Actual facts.
Indeed. And that's 100%. I believe that's 100% in my heart, bro. We can't run. We can't run from America. Remember what?
And we can't run nowhere. And we can't run nowhere neither. We're accepted nowhere.
Remember, what's that country they gave us in Africa, bro? That country they gave us in Africa when they had the back to Africa movement. What's the name? Liberia. Yo, the niggas went to Liberia and turned Liberia into the fucking hood.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You ever see their flag, big bro?
But you know what?
Nah.
You can't even
have you ever seen Liberia's flag
over there.
Have you ever seen Liberia's flag?
No, I never seen Liberia's flag.
I seen their flag.
Both of you check out what that flag. Google it, pull it up right now, and go look at that flag. And then now you'll see what you just said about how we went over there and turned that place up. It's gonna make sense when you look at that flag. Go pull up the Liberian flag and see for yourself what that's about. Just pull it up and see for yourself.
It's sad that we can't even get dual citizenship over there if we wanted to.
And why is that?
Because I think they were infighting with the natives over there that came when our people, when the slaves came, the so-called slaves went back there to claim it. They got into it with the natives there.
Oh shit! I just see it. Hold on. Yo, hold on.
You see the flag?
Yo. Hold on. That look like the flag from the South. What's that shit called? The Confederate flag.
Confederate.
It look like the Confederate flag. Hold up, yeah. Let me show you.
But it also reminds you of the United States flag too, the way it looks.
That's one of our colonies. We colonized. Well, I ain't gonna say we, but the United States had colonized.
There we go, right here, y'all.
Yeah.
That's the proof that United States colonized it by just that flag, the way it looked. Yeah. There's no other flag in the motherland that looked anything even remotely close to that flag. That's the only one that looks like that.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why it looks like that. So when you said they went over there, that shows that's the receipt they went over there and turned up by producing that type of flag.
Yeah.
And the motherfuckers that ran over the Liberia was some punk bitches too, because they didn't want to fight the fight in America no more. They're like, fuck that, send me over there.
Fact.
And then they went over to Liberia and started enslaving the people. Started the African people over there. Started doing the African people over there dirty.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
The scandalous part about it is the Liberians could come over here and have dual citizenship, but we couldn't go over there and have dual citizenship if we want to, because we wasn't born over there.
I'm glad you just touched on that right there. What state are you located at?
I'm in Florida. I live.
Okay, you in Florida. Oh, okay. Now, what I'm gonna say to you is this, right? Because social media brings us together, no matter where we're at in the States. When you talk about Liberia, right? We got quite a few prominent people that's in Jersey, right here. In this northern part of New Jersey, next to New York. Yeah. That's from Liberia that a lot of people would know, right? And I'm gonna mention them too because you just said something about dual citizenship that they probably both have that a lot of people don't even talk about, which actually helped propel them to where they're at right now. One of them is you got NDO Champ, right? You got that big dude that be kicking the food out of people's hand and all that stuff, right? I know him personally. He from Liberia. He was born and raised in Liberia until he came to the U.S. when he's about 11 or 12 years old. He went to New York for a second. Then he moved from New York and he moved over to Jersey. He was raised in the North. So the thing about him is he don't know nothing about Liberia. His whole mannerism, everything he doing right now is all Jersey. He got it all from here. Got nothing to do with over there. So you don't really ever hear him mention Liberia, but I'm sure he got a dual citizenship. And this is one other person I'm gonna mention that the mayor here, Ras Baraka, he loves to push this woman as she's the biggest thing, and you all can be like her and all the other nonsense. And it's this girl named Adina Bayo, right? She's from Liberia, but she's like a I would say like a real estate type of magnate. Like she owns a lot of things. She's an entrepreneur that owns quite a few IHOPs in the area. She owns quite a few things. And I'm mentioning these two because they always never talk about Liberia, even though they're born and raised here. All the benefits and everything that they have, they got it from us. But they were allotted in giving things that people from here are not even given. Like, for instance, that woman was given opportunity to get property. I'm talking about property where people that's from here got way more money than her, like Shaquille O'Neal and them, couldn't even obtain the properties that she was able to get. And that was by design. So it's like they give these people these opportunities to get things that the foundations don't even get to have. But then they throw them nose up at us when they get these things and look at it as if we didn't help them get it. And I just like to just say that because, NDO Champ, he's humble as pie, bro. You never hear him talk about, he's this or that. He's not a sucker at all. But that Adina Bayo, that chick is a sucker, man. She really benefited a lot from our plight, man. And now this chick is got a portfolio, I think a $200 million, $300 million portfolio because of that, bro. She went to the school system here, public school system in Newark, went to high school in Newark, all that, man. And she I don't know. She just does.
Hold on. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something too. Some people said the Liberians look like they from here. That's because they originally are from here. Most of them. The Liberians are originally from America, and they went to Liberia as a way to get away from America. They ran. They put their tails between their legs.
What Liberian look like they from here? I ain't never seen one. I know they ass ain't from here.
Most of the original Liberians that went over there.
The original Liberians, African American, man.
They were from the South States.
Yeah. That's when they had the back to Africa movement, the Marcus Garvey Back to Africa movement. They sent all the blacks from down south and other parts of the country to Liberia, bro.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. I know some went over there.
Because you could
A lot,
run into
bro.
somebody from Liberia, and they will probably tell you, "Yo, my people are from Mississippi, or my people are from the Carolinas, or my people
My
are
people from Jersey,
Alabama,
Jersey, whatever." Yep.
Y'all look at that comment right there. What's that about right there? Y'all know who he talking about? That comment that's posted up there. The one that just said something about Liberia. Somebody from Liberia. Who was that? There was a post up there. That one right there. Anybody know who that is? They're speaking of.
Paul Flacco. He got his own podcast on YouTube. He was down with Adam 22.
Oh, okay. I don't know what kind of content they got up, but what's their content about? Like whoever that person is.
Paul Flacco do urban hip hop and shit like that. Media, rumors, gossip. You know what I'm saying? Same shit I do. But no, yeah, a lot of people. I'm surprised I didn't know that they took the Americans that wanted to go to Africa. And they gave them Liberia. They gave them Liberia. They gave America Liberia. They took it from the Africans and gave it to the Americans.
Wow, I didn't know that. They gave it to the American what? The Nubian Americans? Who they gave it to? To us?
Yes, us.
Oh, to us.
They gave it to the African Americans.
Oh. Yes. Oh, they want to give them some land. You said they were trying to give the foundationals here land over there.
Huh?
Is what you're saying?
They give us land over there.
Is that reason why that war? Is that part of why that war happened in the first place?
Yeah. I fought in Liberia when the U.S. was trying to get Charles Taylor out. They were trying to get Charles Taylor out of Liberia.
Who's Charles Taylor?
He was like the president of Liberia. He was running Liberia.
And he was a person that was foundational to here that went over there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going by the name because I'm not going to say Charles because they do have like English names over there. I noticed that they do. Like Indio Champ. Indio Champ real name is an English name. There's no African last name actually. His name like Wilmot, whatever his name is, it's really like an English last name. You know what I mean? I always wonder why his name is that. If he's supposed to be from over there, why is his name not an African name? So now it makes sense now.
Because Liberia was Americans that founded that was the foundation of Liberia.
So technically they already so technically a lot of them, that's the reason why they was able to flee the way they did to come over here to seek asylum, because they already had a connection to America, basically, is what you're saying. See, I didn't really know the whole logistics, but I will definitely do a history search on Liberia now that I'm more interested in it. Because I always wondered about that flag, why that flag looked like that. And I know that some of our people did go over there, but I didn't know why. Now you enlighten me. So now that's going to make me what? Run for education. I'm going to run for education.
Look what the black man said. Look what the black man said.
Yeah, they pretty much run that place like they run Guam, like they run Samoa, and a lot of other places, Virgin Islands and all that other stuff. So they probably got a military base over there and everything, because typically wherever the United States go, once they inhabit that particular location, they always make sure they put a military base over there so they can watch over that particular part of the world and just keep eyes and ears on what's going on. Also stealing resources, because that's what the U.S. does. They steal resources, and unfortunately, that's what it is. You join the armed services, you're a mercenary to the country, and you're part of the theft. I know, because I was part of the theft when I was in, so I get it. There's no other way around that. That's the reason why we have everything from everywhere in the United States, is part of because the United States stole it from that place and brought it over here. So that's why most people that come here from somewhere, they never really have to go back home, because there's always some neighborhood or community here that has what they were getting over there. They have it over here. So that makes them lazy to not have to go back and help their own people from over there. And it makes them comfortable, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right. And listen, they have old slavery names because they would send back people from here. That's what we telling you. Look it up, bro. I've been heard that shit while I did myself. I've been the nation of guys for all my life. So my father told me a lot of this shit. He gave me a lot of books to read. And I was like, oh shit, so the Black Liberation Movement to go back to Africa, that's Liberia. That's what that shit, that's why they send them Liberia, because that's what they're like, we're gonna give you our own land. And they give land in Liberia.
Wow. You know what's shameful? It sounds like Liberia is a place that all of us, right, that are native to this land should be studying, and it should be pushed in school, that our youth should be educated about that place as far as that what happened when we tried to go over there and have our own space and have our own land, what the country, you know, what the European nations other surrounding tried to do to push us out. I think Liberia to me sound like a pivotal place that we all should actually learn about. That's what it seemed like to me. I'm interested to learn about it now more than ever. Just finding all this information out. So, you know, it's real shameful that it doesn't really matter in the world where we go. It don't matter what type of influence we try to put in as positive. They're going to always try to make a negative and spin it because they don't want us to be looked at to our other fellow brothers and sisters around the world as a place that could be modeled behind and that we really set the trend for how the fight goes around the world. They really look for the U.S. and how we, you know, like somebody just put a post up now about, they talk about NATO. You know, NATO to me ain't nothing but just a bunch of oppressors ganged up together to really just try to control how the world works and how other nations conduct themselves. And if it's something they didn't consider to be appropriate, they get together and send their little militants over there to take over the place. That's basically what NATO is. So I don't even look at NATO as really being anything positive to us. We don't have friends. We don't have no friends. Okay, I see you back.
Nobody like the Black African American.
That's right.
Black man that's born in America. Nobody like us because we took all the styles and we made the styles here, yo. Be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he said, hold on. He said, my man, he was before the war. He said, Liberia has diamonds, gold, silver, nickel, crude oil, cocoa, and lots of other shit. I believe that shit. That's why they gave it to the Africans. Yeah. That's why they gave it to Black Americans, so we can go over there and work for that shit and dig that shit up and start a war with the natives of that country. That's why.
No. Maybe they gave it to us not knowing what the resources were there. And then when they figured out what it was, they wanted us to get the fuck out of it. That's the same thing with Haiti. Haiti had a lot of resources on that land. And when they found out now Haiti got all that stuff over there, that's why they putting all these storms. They making these storms and stuff happen. They want to kick them fucking Haitians out of there, bro. They really want them out of there because it's resources in that ground. They want them out. I'm serious. They talking about putting a hotel or something on one side of the island, right? You know why? They want to do that to cover up what they really going to be doing, and that's digging the resources out of the ground. So they want to play it off and act like they want to put a hotel there. Now you can go look it up for yourself. See, somebody just put a muscle emoji up because they know what I'm talking about. So they really just want to kick them Haitians out of there. I believe that's what happened in Liberia.
They want to kick the Black African American back to America. Like, now, y'all go back to America. We want this land back now. The government wanted it.
Exactly.
The white government.
And they know how we fight. They know how we fight and how we put people. We get us all together. That's a dangerous thing for them. So they don't want us to be unified. That was the reason why main reason why when Marcus Garvey came to the United States, they had to get rid of him because they did not want him to cling on to the people that were in here and mesh up together and then go back over to Jamaica.
Marcus Garvey, he started the movement. He started back to African movement. That's who they gave. That's who they gave Liberia to, Marcus Garvey. His people, his followers went to Liberia. Your Lord, I'm right? Wasn't the Marcus Garvey followers that went to Liberia? Jonathan Kidd. God. Wasn't the Marcus Garvey followers that went to Liberia?
I don't know. I have no idea on that.
I think it was Marcus Garvey follows. Because Marcus Garvey started the Back to Africa movement. My boy Rashid Legend said facts. It was Marcus Garvey. It was Marcus Garvey.
I know Marcus Garvey never touched down in Africa.
They didn't let him. They stopped him.
Right.
I believe they stopped him from going. They stopped him before he could board. They locked his ass up.
Right.
But I think he did hit Liberia though. I believe he did go to Liberia. He came back to visit and then caught his ass and locked him up. He did go to Liberia though. I did the research on it. He went to Liberia He came back from Liberia. His right-hand man set him up to get caught when he came back to America. That's what happened. His right-hand man set him up to get caught when he came back to America.
Right.
Now, when you said he came back to America, you do know that he was being watched by the feds the whole time he was in the United States, right?
Yeah.
He was under surveillance the whole time. But the thing is that he went to Harlem, which is where you want to go, even to this day. But you definitely want to go to Harlem back then because that's where Malcolm X was. That's where all them leaders were at. So you knew you had to go through Harlem. And that's what he did. He went through Harlem to get the approval from those brothers there to link up together so they can do something which would be the start of the Pan-African movement. That's basically what Marcus Garvey was doing. But, you know, they had to get rid of him because they could not have him come over here with the Black Panthers and come over here with, you know, with Malcolm and all them and Dr. King. They could not have that. They could not have it. It was too powerful to have him over here with all of them. So that's the reason why they got him up out of here. And they banned him to make sure he wouldn't come back. Now, don't get me wrong. Marcus Garvey started off over there supposedly underneath some Gandhi teachings like Dr. King and some other people that, you know, he was influenced by. But let's be real here. He tapped into foundationals. If it was not for his foundationals, right, Marcus Garvey wouldn't have never had the push that he had. He couldn't get the push from the Jamaican because the Jamaican did not want to mess around with that because they were scared. They didn't want to fight those oppressors. So that's the reason why Marcus Garvey came over here. They don't really talk about that, but that's the real truth. Marcus Garvey couldn't even influence his own people in Jamaica to follow behind him. He had to come over here. And that's why that flag right there behind my head is important because that flag was the unification of all of us together, basically.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean.
You know,
so,
Black Americans or foundational Black Americans, we actually do have a flag. It's red, black, and it had a gold reef with a sword in the middle of it.
That's a new flag that somebody created, though. I know what you're talking about.
I think that's pretty old. It's not the one that Tariq Nasheed created. It was I think it's
No. I know what you're talking about. It got like a gold reef or like a kind of like a sword or something.
Right.
Like a gold
in the
reef.
middle of it. Right.
I just started seeing that flag, to be honest with you, big bro. I just started seeing that flag like 2 years ago. I'm like, somebody just created this flag. Where'd it come from?
No, it's been around.
Okay, I just started seeing it.
Let me go right here. I'm about to share something with y'all real quick. Hold on.
Okay. I only know about 2 Pan-African flags. The basic ones that I know about is the red, black, and green, and the other one.
Marcus Garvey was born into the racial inequities of the colonial system of Jamaica. He decided to fight for change when he read the autobiography of Booker T. Washington, an educator whose message was self-reliance and self-help through education and economics.
All of those things actually make sense to Garvey in Jamaica. They make sense to a Garvey who's wrestling with the effects of colonialism, racial self-hatred and self-loathing that the colonial system imposed upon Black people in Jamaica.
In 1914, while in Jamaica, Garvey organized the Universal Negro Improvement Association, the UNIA, to build up racial pride and develop educational and economic opportunities for Blacks.
He had these high aspirations for building this universal, this worldwide organization to empower people of African descent.
2 years later, Garvey came to the United States and established the UNIA in New York City's Harlem.
There were at least 700 chapters of the UNIA in the United States by 1921 through 1924. There were over 1,000 chapters of the UNIA throughout the world. Garvey was a master showman and a master organizer.
Marcus Garvey was a Caribbean American who would come to reshape the meanings of African America.
Garvey spoke boldly about self-respect and pride in African heritage, a message that appealed to many African Americans frustrated with the violence and disenfranchisement they faced in the United States.
Marcus Garvey obviously has one of the largest mass movements in the 20th century. Definitely the largest of people of African descent.
Garvey and his followers held demonstrations and parades in Harlem to encourage a sense of dignity and identity as a noble people.
Garvey would have these huge parades and he would dress up, and part of that pomp and circumstance was saying we are a people and we are a coherent people, and then to be a coherent people means that we have rights and we can create a nation.
Shunning integration, Garvey preached a separate African community, complete with black businesses and institutions.
Garvey encouraged the development of black entrepreneurship through the Negro Factories Corporation, which was modeled after Booker T. Washington's National Negro Business League.
The UNIA saw the importance of economics and independent institutions as fundamental to freedom. Garvey was building a set of institutions that are about creating a kind of peoplehood and a nationhood here in the United States.
Part of Garvey's plan was for some African Americans to return to Africa and create a nation there. It was known as the Back to Africa movement.
Marcus Garvey electrifies much of the African American population throughout the cities of the United States with his Back to Africa movement. Race, men and women unite, Garvey would say. We are mistreated here, we're going back to Africa. Rise up, ye mighty race.
Garvey started a steamship line called the Black Star Line for trade with Africa and the Caribbean, and as transportation for people returning to Africa. The business failed and brought trouble for Garvey.
In 1923, Garvey was arrested for mail fraud because of the sale of the stock of the Black Star steamship line through the U.S. Postal Service. Garvey personally was not involved in any kind of corruption or theft, but unfortunately he was not a good judge of business character.
Marcus Garvey was convicted and sentenced to serve time in a federal penitentiary. President Calvin Coolidge later commuted his sentence, and Garvey was deported from the United States in 1927. He returned to Jamaica as a hero.
Garvey understood that building a black protest movement, of black pride, of black ownership in business and self-respect was also a cultural endeavor. And there was a sense of community and cultural identity and an affirmation of African heritage. All of these were part of the UNIA. And it was an extraordinary spiritual and cultural movement.
Marcus Garvey's ideas inspired future black nationalist movements like Nation of Islam, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, and the Black Panthers.
Okay, pretty good video, like that.
Yeah, but
how do y'all pop in and out like that?
How we popping out? Like what?
Yeah, like y'all able to take the screen off? I'm still trying to figure out how could I pop out and pop in. Don't worry about it. I'm just joking, man.
You see the camera on your phone?
Yes.
You press the camera. Press the camera.
You talking about the picture, the one that's showing me moving around?
Yeah, the camera right here. The camera stop. It says stop cam. Press stop cam.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
And you press stop cam, and then a picture will come up.
Let me see.
Oh, shit. He knocked himself out, bro. He made me think he knocked himself out, but yo, God. But yeah, bro. Some real shit though, man. That back, it was called Garvey nights, right?
Garvey nights. Yeah.
Garvey nights. That's that back to Africa movement that they did. That was 1967. You said
the flag that I was talking about.
no. I'm talking about the Garvey. I'm talking about the Garvey nights. When was that? When they go back to Liberia? When all the blacks go back to Liberia? That was the 1900s, early 1900s, right?
Early 1900. Around 1900. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. Hey, Brick City.
Yes, sir.
Yo, you got hang up your YouTube.
Me? Hang up my YouTube?
Talk about YouTube over the echo.
I just got back on. I went through the link that you had sent me. That's the link I went in.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. It's echoing like a crazy. Come out and come back here.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah. Yeah, it was his. That what you were saying, bro?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, it wasn't me echoing then. It wasn't me echoing.
Nah, that wasn't you. Nah, it was him. I don't know how.
All right. No, I was saying I think that I was about to ask him if he knew.
Yeah, I'm back.
If you do what?
Hey, Brick City, I was asking. When did the government go to Liberia?
The phone was breaking up. The connection was breaking up a little bit. I didn't understand everything you said.
Nah, he was like. No, we talking about the Garvey. When the Garvey was supposed to Liberia. That was the early 1920s, 30s. 1920s.
It had to be in the 1920s or early 30s because from that video, you know, when he came to the U.S., in the 1920s. So it was something that I said that I got to take back because I actually was out of context by saying that, as if he came over here to deal with and speak with Dr. King and Malcolm X. He came over here way before they was even before they were doing any of that stuff. He was over here. I don't even think they was born yet when he came over here. Now that I think about it. Yeah, so I apologize. I gotta take that back.
Malcolm X's father was a follower of Garvey.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. He was a follower of his. You're right. So yeah, I had to take that back what I said because it was out of context. That Garvey was here decades before them two even rose to what they rose up to. So yeah, I have to take that back. But still,
according to the Nation of Islam, W.D. Farrar was in and out of the United States during that time too. According to that time. Before he made himself. And you had other Muslim movements that were here too.
All right, Chop. Yo, I'm about to end it. I'm about 2 hours in. 2 hours in. Yo, I appreciate you ever coming up. And yo,
it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours the max on each per stream, or how does the stream yard work?
No, you do it as long as you want. I do 2 hours because
I got you. Well, won't you have some type of closing remarks off, man? Let everybody say their piece for their leave.
Good. Yo.
Well, you can.
Hold on.
The one that was there.
You're echoing. That's why I'm muting because you're echoing. Yo, you echoing. That's why I'm muting you because it's echoing loud.
Okay, I didn't want to sign out. I was just trying to figure out how to do it because I don't know how to work StreamYard per se. So.
Oh no. What I was saying is, I'm about to. I gotta run. I gotta do some running around. But do your closing remarks.
Basically, I just want to just leave with, this live was pretty good because it covered quite a few things, and it just shows that even though we all, don't matter what part of the world you're from or presently living in, If you have hue in your skin, whether it's pale, light, all the way up to the actual color black, which majority of us are actually not even the color black, but we all have to accept that we're all of that. We all have the same plight. We have the same problems, and it doesn't really matter how we want to look at it as, you know, it's just an individual problem. It's really not. You know, we all have the exact same issues. It's just packaged differently, but the oppressor look at us as the same. So until we all start looking at things like that and have that mentality that people like Marcus Garvey and all the other people that came before him and even after him have, it's really not going to serve us any good to look at us all separate as if we all don't have the same problems. So I just want to leave with that fact that I think that people have to understand that, you know, regardless of where you're from, right, the worst thing that ever happened to all of us, right, was those freaking flags. I wish every last one of these flags from all these different islands and countries were thrown in the fucking garbage, because that's really what the problem is, those flags. We don't need those flags. You don't need them. Those flags are the reason why we're all of us are kind of back and forth and going down each other's throat. It's because of those freaking flags. So I just say, when a person come around me, don't come around me with a flag in your hand waving. No, come talk to me as if you are of Nubian descent, first and foremost. If you can't do that, then you got to go, because I don't care about that flag. That flag is trash. That flag was created by your oppressor. And even if it wasn't created by your oppressor, that flag was to cause division. Wherever flag that is, I'm talking about for any place in the world, that all those flags got to go. And I'm going to leave with that. But go ahead.
No doubt. No doubt. Lord, go ahead, Lord. Speak, Lord.
All I'm gonna say is we have to stand up for our culture and what we create. From whatever culture that, because a lot of people are claim jumping our culture, and we have to set people straight on that. Real talk, real walk. And we can't let them have us, like the brother said, have us dealing with tribalism over here. Because before all that, before the tribalism even, started, when we was dealing with the Black rights movement, the civil rights movement and all that stuff, we was all standing as one. But now they know how to conquer and divide us and make us think that we're all different.
Indeed.
So we have to stand tall on our culture as far as with hip hop culture and everything else, and let people give us our respect as foundational Black American descendants of slaves, or whatever you want to call yourself. I call myself an original Black man.
Me too.
So that's all I have to say on that. Peace to the gods.
All right. Peace to the gods. Yeah, I'm going to say this. Peace to the 5% nation of gods and nerfs. Salam alaikum, alhamdulillah, Rahman to Allah, to all the true Muslim brothers and sisters out there. This is the King of New Jersey. This is BTBTV. We bully the bullies. I'd like to thank my guests today. My boy Aliyah, Brick City AZ. I'm going to holler at you, man. I'm going to call you as soon as I get off here, bruh, so we can build up something other. And yo, we ain't no Bloods, no Crips. We doing our own thing. BTBTV that started in Zone Gate like nigga.